You're going to understand how you can turn your body completely around by doing simple steps. Make sure that you choose exercises that progressively overload your body and help you feel good. Now, 6 compound exercises that I always incorporate in my program are hip thrusts, deadlifts, squats. I choose pull-ups, rows, and chest press. Those are the 6 main exercises I focus on every time I train clients or I train my body into the best physique that I can. The variations change, the tempos change, the rep changes, and the sequence changes on a monthly basis. But if you just stick to those 6 main exercises, you are going to see that your body will change amazing and you're going to get all the curves that you desire and the tone that you desire, especially for you women. Please do not be afraid of lifting weights. It's not going to make you look like He-Man. That is a bunch of baloney. And if you're still thinking that way, unfortunately, you're still stuck in the 80s, and we need to get you out of that mindset, because if you really want to increase your metabolism and change your physique around, you must lift weights. Okay, number 2, being flexible with your diet and eating plan, making sure that you're eating nutrient-dense foods about 85% of the time. So I find that when we get too fixated on being super clean, we're not really focusing on macronutrients that are really helping us get to our goals. But yet also too, when we're over fixated about eating clean all of the time, then we don't leave room for error. And we don't leave room for error, what happens too is we get down on ourselves and then we start to demotivate ourselves. So absolutely eat a nutritious diet about 85% of the time, but you have to leave a little bit of wiggle room for fun times. When you're able to do that, then you can look at this as a lifestyle other than just a diet. And this is something that I really take home with my clients, about allowing them and understanding that we must eat more nutrient-dense foods to really create the physique that we want. We can't do that in a calorie deficit all the time, and there has to be times where you have to eat more, and specifically eat more protein to get that desired body weight that you want. So being 100% good all the time is not always great for your mindset either. So always allow for a little bit of wiggle room. But for the average person, for the average woman, if you train hard enough for 3 times a week with good intensity, good intention, knowing what you're going in for, with a game plan, you should be able to get amazing results. So, and you want to do that for about 45 to 90 minutes. 45 minutes with breaks is really going to get you about maybe half an hour of a nice intense workout. If you go to 90 minutes, then you're probably going to get maybe 60 minutes or a little bit more with the breaks in between. So you can go anywhere from 45 to 90 minutes. Now just understand that if you don't have the time to put in that much time in that time frame of your session, then this is where you can probably increase the number of times that you work out in the week. This would be ideal for someone to go, say, to the gym 5 times a week, but they're, say, only doing half an hour of a workout, but they're able to split the full 45 or 90-minute workout into smaller increments throughout the week. So that's how you can work that out. But usually if you go into the gym with a really good intention, with a really good game plan, you're lifting hard, you're lifting heavy, and maybe not going to failure on every single exercise because you don't want to do that, then you taking it down to 3 times a week is probably more than enough. If you're not getting the results, then take a closer look at your diet, because I'm sure that's what it is. Consistency of training is tip number 4. This is something that most of us lack, and usually in the New Year's, people go crazy and they sign up for a gym. They're like, I'm going to exercise every day, and they have this high motivation, and that kind of falls off the wagon the first month or two. Now, consistency is really what's going to give you the results that you're looking for. Most people don't stick with a plan long enough to really see the change in the body, and they don't give their body the opportunity to kind of do that turnover, or they don't give a program long enough time to really see the changes in their physique. And I find this a lot with women. They like to jump programs a lot, and they like to do all these variety of different things, but the problem is that you're not creating a foundation for your body to increase that strength, to create that muscle tone that you're looking for. So if you stick with something consistently long enough, you will see changes. So that means consistently long enough with your diet, consistently long enough with your training plan, consistent enough time with training, not just training 3 months and thinking that's all it's going to take to turn your body around. So don't believe a lot of those influencers that we see where they say, I got my body like this in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Most of those people really don't get their body like that. Or if you see an influencer who looks amazing, don't believe that she has that body just overnight by doing a couple of workouts. She probably worked years and years and years. And most likely, a lot of those pictures that you see are just of their high season, their best season. And they usually don't take pictures of themselves when they say they're bulking or maybe they're not in the best physique. So be very well aware of that. Don't be try not to fall into the traps of the deceptions that we get through social media. Just understand that consistency is what's really going to get you to the body physique that you want. Tip number 5, which is really important, is really making sure that you are strength training the proper way, not throwing your weights around and using a lot of momentum, which I see constantly in gyms, and I see people working out, even the new people that come with me. They come and train with me and they've been working out for years, and I'm expecting, somebody who has good training experience, and I see a lot of momentum. I see a lot of bad form. I see, not fully stretched out muscles or focusing on the lowering portion of the eccentric. So all of these things really sculpt your body. So if you really take a good look at a lot of people who look amazing and you look at the workout videos, they are really slow in their movement and they're very intentful in their movement, and they slow down. If it takes a workout longer, then it takes a workout longer, but they go in there with a goal, a mindset, and making sure that they're going through the movement patterns with intention, not just getting through the session to get through the movement. It's really about focusing on what you're doing and connecting that mind muscle connection together to understand what muscle group you're actually working. So proper foundation of form and your full range of motion on each exercise is vitally important to sculpt your body. Tip number 6, so important for you to enjoy your fitness program that you're doing. I see so many people following a fitness program that they really don't enjoy, or something that really is not making them feel good. So you have to listen to your biofeedback. You have to understand that if an exercise is hurting you, why would you continue it? You need to seek out other exercises that look similar, that maybe work the same muscle group, but they get the job done without pain. Also, too, if you don't like, for example, cardio, and your program says cardio, and you need to drop weight, then maybe you can focus on different types of activity that are going to increase your heart rate, like maybe strength training if you enjoy that, with more repetitions to increase your heart rate if you're trying to go for that endurance effect and that fat burning effect, or maybe focus a little bit more on your diet and try to tighten up the belt on how much calories you're eating and making sure that you're in a true deficit so you can get that weight off. So just understand that your program really needs to be enjoyable if you want to continue doing it long term. And if you're working with a coach, a good coach will listen to you. A good coach will ask you how an exercise feels, if you like it, if you don't like it. Now, if you have some limitations, if you have some areas that you need to rebalance and muscle imbalances, your coach will throw those exercises in your program because they're trying to better you. And so understanding that foundation is really important too. But for example, if you really absolutely hate burpees and your coach keeps giving you burpees, or the programs that you have burpees and you absolutely hate it and your form is sloppy and you don't get through it, and it causes you to lose energy for other exercises that are maybe a little bit more specific to your goals, then change that exercise or talk to your trainer and get that exercise changed. And if your trainer is not, or your coach is not really listening to you, then it's time to find somebody else to help you steer the direction that you want to go in. Tip number 7, which is really important, I think that this is where a lot of us lack, and it's not that you're not putting good effort into the gym or that you're not getting your steps in or being active. It's really about what we eat and understanding how much we're eating. I can't tell you how many times I have worked with people who have come first to see me and they're telling me that they have been trying to lose weight for a very long time and they can't lose weight. And then I ask them, to say, so what is your daily calorie intake? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, how much do you eat for breakfast? I have no idea. I can tell you what I eat, or, well, okay, so, on a weekend, how much do you think you consume? They have no oblivious idea. Or if I ask them a simple question like, how much do you think this meal that you buy as takeout is contributing to your overall calories? They have no idea. And so when it comes to weight loss, the number one equation that's the most important is your calories. So regardless if you have hormone imbalances or any other stuff going on, the first place you want to look at is, and the first question you want to ask yourself is, am I in a calorie deficit? And am I in a safe calorie deficit where I'm not losing weight too quickly where I have nothing else to work with, which is another error that many people make, is they go way too far. They strip too many calories too quickly, and then they lose, like say maybe 10 pounds, but they have really 40 pounds to lose. So where do you go from there? So reducing your deficit in smaller margins is way better than in bigger margins because you have more to work with in the end. But you need to know where you're starting. You need to know how much you're eating to even know what a calorie deficit is. So making sure that you are consuming an average amount of calories that align with your goal. So if your goal is to lose weight, you have to be in somewhat of a calorie deficit. If your goal is to gain muscle, then you have to eat in a calorie surplus. So how much calorie deficit should you be focusing on? I honestly say that first of all, you need to know what amount of food you're currently eating. You can't always depend on a calculator to tell you how much you should be eating. And the best ways of doing this is just do a recall diet. Log everything that you eat for the next 3 days and look at your average, but log absolutely everything. You want to look at this information as data to give you feedback on where you should start. So if an app says that you should eat 1,500 calories, but you're actually eating 2,500 calories, and now you're going to drop 1,000 calories, yes, you are going to lose weight very quickly, and yes, you will be very grumpy, and you will probably have metabolic slowdown very quickly, and that is going to make you fall flat on your face earlier than later, because what's going to happen is if you have a lot of weight to lose, 1,000 calorie deficit drop at the beginning may look favorable, but you have really little to work with later. I mean, think about it. If you have like an extra 30 pounds, you're going to go down to 1,000 calories, 900 calories, 800 calories. Like that is a big drop, and that is really not good for your body. So instead, take what you have eaten, good view of it, good data, and say, okay, I'm eating 2,500 calories. I'm going to drop 20% or 10% of that. The smaller margins that you drop by, and I would say about 10% is good. You're going to see favorable results with that. So start there and then work your way through. The next tip is absolutely critical, and this is a big section that most women completely miss, and they don't really understand the importance, and they think that this food is only for men or beasts or people who lift really heavy weights, and that comes down to protein. Consuming protein is so important to satiate you, to grow muscle, to repair muscle, to keep your body revving metabolism higher. It also even like you're able to eat more protein than any other macronutrient because the digestibility part of it, just to digest like say 100 grams of 100 calories of say protein, 20% of that is used to digest, so you're really only eating like 80 calories. That doesn't happen with carbohydrates, and that definitely doesn't happen with fat. So why not use a macronutrient that's going to help you keep you full, that's going to help you lose body fat, that's going to help you gain more muscle so you can lose even more body fat and recomp your body, make it look different. And that is protein. That's where protein comes in. So my golden rule that I use 1 gram of protein per body weight. Now, if you are very overweight, I would probably say, okay, let's take 1 gram of desired body weight. So if you weigh, say, 200 pounds and your desired body weight is 150 pounds, then eat 150 grams of protein. Now, that is a little bit higher than what most people do, and the reason why I do that is because I'd like to get my clients used to eating higher protein right away, because it's really going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Now, if you're really having a hard time eating that much, then go to the minimum. And the minimum for you to change your physique is 0.8 grams for body weight. Okay, either it's a desired body weight for someone who's very overweight, or your current body weight if you're, a pretty good size, but you just want to change your shape. So protein is absolutely important, and it's very important that you spread it throughout the day. So minimum is 3 meals. If you're doing intermittent fasting, it's going to be really hard for you to stick that in 1 meal or 2 meals. So I really highly advise 3 minimum meals to spread it out. And if, say, for example, somebody who's eating like 120 grams of protein divided by 3, so you divide that by 3, and that's how much protein you should be getting for those 3 main meals. Now, if you have more meals, it's easier to spread out, and you can definitely do that too, but it's not a must. It's not about that you have to eat 6, 7 times, 8 times a day to get the physique that you want. You can get that amount of protein within 3 meals. So focus on your protein. It's very, very important. Next tip is stress. I'm sure you've heard of it and we all know it, but we really don't consider how much it affects our body physique. So there's different types of stresses. There's a beneficial stress and there's a stress that's a negative stress. So beneficial stresses are things like working hard to get something that you want, right? So if you're staying up late at night to, I don't know, study, to get your diploma, to have a better lifestyle. So that is a beneficial stress. It's a short-term stress to get to something. Another type of stress is exercise. So you train hard for an hour, 3 times a week. That is a short-term stress. It's not something that prolongs and breaks down your body. So that type of stress is very beneficial. So other things in terms of negative stress. So negative stress is, say, working a stressful job for 8 hours, 6 or 5 days a week. Sorry, 5 days a week, depending how many times a week you work in the week. But most of us take work home, so really it turns out to be 6 or 7 days a week if you actually accumulate the hours. So working that stressful job is something that you're doing day in, day out, hour after hour. That becomes, especially if your job is stressful and you don't like it, that becomes a negative stress for your body. Other things like lack of sleep, poor diet, bad relationships, all of those kind of things become negative stress for your body, and they actually break down your muscle tissue, they break down your willpower, they don't give you the motivation or energy to even want to go after something better in life, to want to maybe strive for a better physique, a better lifestyle, a better you. So those things really bring you down. So try to focus on bringing things more into your life that encourage positive stress, that are going to help you flourish, and try your best to reduce the stresses that are bringing you down and that are negative. And I feel that a lot of us, and even myself, we tend to focus on trying to control the stress that we can't control, but we don't want to look at the stress that we can control, right? So, for example, if you know that you're not healthy, but you don't want to deal with the stress of having to exercise because it's hard, or having to eat right because it's going to take you more time, or having to say no to social outings because you have to explain yourself. So that is definitely a stress, but a lot of us don't want to spend that time in that stress situation because it's uncomfortable. But usually those are the situations of stress that you need to be under to change things around and to allow you to start seeing the lifestyle and live the lifestyle that you want. So focus on those types of stresses and try to let go of the others. Tip number 10 is feeling recovered from your workouts before you go into the next workout. And this happens over and over again with a lot of people who are very excited to get the weight off or to change a body transformation. Like, I'm gonna work out 7 days a week. I'm gonna work out twice a day. I'm gonna do all the activity. I'm gonna join every mud race and do all these amazing things, or be a weekend warrior. I have the weekend that I'm gonna fill my weekend with tons of activity. And the problem with this is that you're overworking your body and you're not allowing it to rest. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that if your goal is to actually build muscle, to build strength, and to change your physique, well, you need to recover in between your workouts for that to occur. When you're in the gym, you are not making muscle. You are tearing muscle down. Okay, this is called bodybuilding because you're breaking down the muscle, but you build the muscle and when you are recovering, when you have that day off in between your other workouts. Now, again, like I said at the beginning, if you're not working out with full intention, with full focus, and maybe not that heavy, you can train every day. It just really depends on the intention that you're putting on the exercise. But if your goal, and what is the whole purpose of this video, if you want to change your body physique, then you need to push hard in the gym. You need to get yourself out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of that comfort zone and push hard so you feel like, you know what, I can only do 3 days a week. Like, I literally need that break in between, or I can probably push for 5, right? And so that's when you know that you need to recover from your workouts. But if you're slamming your training sessions every single day, hard, you're not going to see a lot of gains from that because your body doesn't have enough time to recover. And all you're doing is you're breaking down more muscle tissue, you're creating more inflammation, and your body doesn't respond well with high inflammation. It needs some inflammation for muscle growth, but it also needs to bring it back down so you can get the next inflammation after your next workout. But doing that day in and day out is not helpful for your physique. Next tip is getting good quality sleep. Not just quality, but also quantity. Focusing on both. A lot of my clients say, oh, I get enough sleep, I only get 6 hours. Well, you know what? Maybe in terms of numbers, that sounds like the ideal. Anywhere from 6 hours of sleep is acceptable. But how are you sleeping? Are you sleeping well? Are you waking up in the middle of the night? Are you able to go back to bed? It's okay if you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, but are you able to go back to bed right away? How does your mindset feel in the morning? Do you feel like that rocket that you just want to get out of bed and conquer the world? Or you feel like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this. How long does it take you to get off of your feet and put your clothes on and get things done in the house? Do you take 2, 3 hours to really like start moving, even though you just woke up? So these are all signs of whether you're getting full quality sleep. And full quality sleep is very important for muscle growth, for recovery, for fat loss. And science has shown over again that if you don't get good quality sleep, your cortisol levels go up, your hunger hormones go up. It's very hard to diet. It's very hard to get a hard workout in. And it's hard to stay highly motivated for that for longer than, say, a month or two. And so quality of sleep is a lot more important than we give it value for. And I know for myself, I value sleep time more than a workout. For me, sleeping is everything because I know if I don't get good sleep, I'm not going to be able to function well the next day. I'm not going to be able to be a good mom, a good sister, a good anything, even a coach, a trainer, right? And then my progress starts to decline and I start feeling crappy about myself. And that usually happens when I'm not getting good quality sleep. So try to change your sleeping environment. Those things are really, really important. Okay, guys, so I hope that this video helped you on focusing on the 11 things that you can do to really change your body physique. And it's really straight, simple. There's nothing sexy about the information. But you know what? We live in such a high stress, high paced lifestyle that we're like doing cartwheels just to get results. And it's not necessary. When it comes to transforming your body, the really simple rules. Train hard, eat well, get adequate rest. It really comes down to those three things. And if you do those three things, you will see that your body will transform. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. And if you're looking for any training programs that are customized to you with any type of imbalances, or if you need a workout for your home and your limited equipment, please shoot me a DM or a message. I'd be more than happy to create a program just for you and just for the body type that you're looking for. That's all from here. BB, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching my channel. And please hit the subscribe, the like, and the share button so the algorithm can recognize me and I can allow you to listen in on more good information coming from my side. Thanks so much. Bye.